As descriptors go, multi-talented has been rather overworked, but in the case of Jane Osbourne, these adjectives are entirely appropriate.
Also known as Zangy, she can offer her guests couture, cuisine, and entertainment, as Africa Within discovered when we visited her in Zambia.
Livingston may serve as a base for those visiting the Victoria Falls, yet now it has another attraction that goes by the name of Ngomazanga. This restaurant is the latest invention of one of Zambia's most creative people, and it's home to an all-African heart.
I'm about to meet one of Zambia's busiest and most loved ladies. Jane Osbourne, or Zangy as she's affectionately known by her friends, is a singer, designer, and she also runs and operates a restaurant. Join me.
As the Africa Within team soon discovered, this garden-setting eatery is an oasis of culture and heritage, and its owner, a living embodiment of the African dream.
Zangy, thank you so much for inviting us to Ngomazanga restaurant.
It's my pleasure.
To start with, why the name Zangy?
Zangy means love in one of the Zambian languages. And being at Ngomazanga, I think I do enough of that, spreading love amongst my clients, making them sure they have a very good time.
What inspired you to open the restaurant?
Throughout my career, in my travels, I've worked in top restaurants. And because I worked in top restaurants and mingled with, the clientele there and the workers and all that, it was only natural for me to open a restaurant and be able to still have that contact, that connection with my clientele. I wanted to offer back what they had given me because they supported me in such a big way, that I felt that I need also to support them.
Diversity is Zangy's middle name, and Ngomazanga becomes her total dynamic stage.
You're a designer, you are a restaurant owner, and you're also a singer. Is there one particular occupation that you're pushing forward at the moment?
All three, because in all the three, it's African. Everything I do, my designing, the restaurant, singing, it's all to do with African. So for me, really, if I had to choose just one, it'll be very difficult. That's why I've combined everything to do in the restaurant. What I like is that, this has given me such an opportunity to display what God has blessed me, talent. So for me, it's a wow. It doesn't usually happen that way.
And what better way to capture the essence of African culture than through the designs of traditional wedding dresses? This is one of Zangy's 3 gifts, and but a prelude to what one can expect from her restaurant.
Now, there's a specific vibe here. When you get here, people are smiling. People seem to be very much enjoying themselves. What is it about the vibe here?
I make myself part of the stuff. I don't give that impression that, listen, I'm the boss. I own this place. No. When I come in, I'm part of the staff. We do everything together. We, dance together and all that, do shows together. And I think they understand that by doing things like that, working hard like that, it means more clientele, it means more money for them and for me. But, I try and have a very free atmosphere with them.
You also won a Freedom Day Award recently. To tell us more about it.
I think I set a very big example. Amongst the Zambian women, I'm considered an inspiration to the young and the old, really. I never give up. And I think people have noticed that I don't give up. I keep creating different things, African. Whatever I create, it's African.
Ngomazanga serves as total ambassador to her creative persona, and it becomes a basis for old world African authenticity. Also, don't expect any Western-style cuisine criteria here.
Tell us a bit about the cuisine here in Ngomazanga.
I've taken our African food, our Zambian food here, and a little of, from Africa, because I traveled all over Africa as well, and I've taken a little, and what I've done, I've created my own dishes. In Zambia, we use a lot of peanut butter or nuts, let's say, you know, in our vegetables, we have pounded nuts and all that. So what I've done is now started putting them in my meats and in my chickens and all that, but it's just the way I prepare it, the ingredients that I put in it that is kind of a secret, and it turns out different from everybody else. Well, I mean, it's one of the dishes that's very popular here, so I assume that it tastes wonderful, you know.
While I eat, maybe you could share some insight with me about the decor here.
That's the artistic side of me. This is one area where I could just express myself. I've been collecting a lot of different stuff from different African countries. And when I opened up here, I thought, wow, now I can use all these things, you see. So starting from the uniforms, right, I had to get everything matching. And I must admit, I really enjoyed putting this place together.
It makes perfect sense that Zangy was voted as one of Zambia's most prominent and influential people, and her restaurant consolidates that status.
It's been an absolute privilege spending time with one of Zambia's most dynamic people. Zangy is a lady with style and talent, and Africa Within will keep an eye out for the next chapter in her busy life.
A bottle of wine.